John smiled, feeling a connection that he couldn't quite explain. I think I might be looking for something like that too. Over the following weeks, Emma and John found themselves meeting at the coffee shop more often. What started as small conversations about books and photography quickly turned into deep discussions about life, dreams, and everything in between. Emma was drawn to John's passion for capturing the world through his lens, while John admired Emma's kindness and her quiet, thoughtful nature. One evening, after a particularly long conversation, John walked Emma home under the starry sky. As they reached her doorstep, Emma turned to him, her heart racing in her chest. John, I. Before she could finish, John took her hand gently, his eyes soft with emotion. Emma, he said, his voice low and tender, I think I've found that love I've been searching for. Emma's breath caught in her throat, and without a word, John leaned in, brushing his lips against hers in the most tender kiss she had ever experienced. Time seemed to stand still as the world faded away, leaving only the two of them in that perfect, magical moment. Their relationship blossomed in the weeks that followed. They shared countless moments of laughter, adventure, and quiet intimacy. John took Emma on photo walks through the city, capturing candid shots of her as they explored the places they both loved. Emma, in turn, introduced John to the world of literature, often reading passages from her favorite books aloud, each word carrying a depth of meaning that John had never noticed before. One night, as they sat on a rooftop overlooking the city lights, John took Emma's hand and said, I've been thinking a lot about us, about how everything feels so right when I'm with you. Emma turned to him, her heart full. I feel the same. It's like, we were meant to find each other. John smiled, a warmth spreading through him. I think so too. I love you, Emma. Tears welled up in Emma's eyes as she looked at him, her heart swelling with emotion. I love you too, John. I never thought I could have a love like this. It feels like something out of a dream. From that moment on, Emma and John built a life together, filled with love, laughter, and shared dreams. They traveled to new places, created memories that would last a lifetime, and supported each other through life's challenges. As the years went by, their love only grew stronger, proving that sometimes, the most beautiful stories are the ones written by fate. Emma had once dreamed of a love like the ones in her books, but with John, she realized that the best kind of love wasn't always the most dramatic, it was the quiet, steady kind that grew stronger with each passing day. In the heart of a bustling city, Emma lived a quiet life. She was a bookworm, always lost in the pages of romance novels, dreaming of a love that seemed so perfect it could only exist in fiction. Despite her charm and kindness, Emma never seemed to find someone who truly understood her, someone who could make her heart race like the heroes in her books. Then came John. John was a man who lived life on his own terms. He had moved to the city from a small coastal town, hoping to chase his dreams of becoming a photographer. He was passionate, adventurous, and always seeking the next thrill. But deep down, he too was searching for something more, someone who could make him feel grounded, someone who could make him believe in love again. Their paths crossed one chilly autumn evening in a small coffee shop. Emma was sitting by the window, a steaming cup of coffee in front of her and a book in her hands, when John walked in, his camera bag slung over his shoulder. The door chimed as he entered, and Emma barely looked up, lost in the world of her book. John ordered a coffee and glanced around for a seat. The only one available was the one across from Emma. With a smile, he asked, "Mind if I join you?" Emma looked up, startled by the sudden interruption, and was met with a pair of warm brown eyes that seemed to shine with an unspoken promise. She nodded, a shy smile creeping onto her lips. As he sat down, John noticed the book in her hands, a romance novel, one he had read years ago. "Is it any good?" he asked, genuinely curious. Emma laughed softly. It's my favorite. It reminds me of the kind of love I dream about, the kind that sweeps you off your feet. Ah, John said, leaning in slightly. So, you're a believer in love at first sight? Emma hesitated, then nodded. I think it's possible. Maybe not as dramatic as in the books, but I believe it's real.